You need to go to the fucking beach this morning because you, hey, fucking just chill out, slow down, enjoy the moment, enjoy the moment. Lovely country, New Plymouth.
With his donut.
Yeah, just all over with cream all over stuff.
Yeah, fucking cream in his pants.
Oh yeah, fucking orange fucking things here. Oh fuck, I love that car. Yeah. Yeah, boys. Fuck yes.
Yeah, Brady. Nice to meet you. You had your Fat RX2 at the reunion, yeah? Yeah, yep. The RX2, I've had it a while now. 13 years. I said that was the best pulse. Yeah, whatever you tell you, if you tune that, you've done something big there. It does like 700 or something crazy. Yeah, 720 or so. Yeah, 30 pound of boost. Yes, it's been about an R&D, eh? From memory, this sort of intakes are done with Brotary. We'll have a look at it.
It's the gangster's one, I reckon.
Do you remember this?
Got the early front.
Oh yeah, Elite.
Yeah, got the Elite manifold.
What do you reckon they're good for?
In terms of power. Yeah, it's a bit funny. So we're seeing a limitation with the setup at the moment. On 30 pound of boost and about 10,500 RPM. The power's starting to just roll flat. So we've done a measurement on the intercooler, pressure differential drop, and we're only seeing about 2 psi drop across the intercooler core. Okay. So there's a restriction somewhere either in the porting or the intake, we're thinking.
Because that's interesting. I just saw the other week, and I'm going to name drop here, but a pack had an Elite one of those, and I reckon the car, like the block was all billet and everything. It had a mechanical fuel pump, so it was geared up for methanol if you want.
Yep. And
they were running that, but they had like a sandwich plate in between the top and the lower intake.
Oh, yeah.
And they were having the injectors come in from the side.
Yep.
And there was, I don't know, there was probably 6 or 8 maybe in them.
Yep.
Now they're running 7-second, passes.
Yeah.
And that car was built for an 8-second. So it's interesting that they're making 1,000 at least horsepower, through that intake. So
yeah, it's interesting because we put the Pro J set up on Nigel's car.
That one,
the RX7.
Yep.
And so data-wise, are showing that it's flowing a bit more. But I spoke to Elite, and they reckon they're claiming over 1,000 horsepower from their manifolds. But yeah, yet to see.
Maybe it's that sandwich plate has something to do with it.
Could be.
Just a bit of a tip or things that I notice when I go around. And 30 PSI, you boys, like what do you guys think, Billy and Charlie, about running that sort of boost?
It's bad.
Awesome.
It's fucking out of control.
Getting step wear, they say 30, 35 you start getting step wear.
Yeah,
on the sides.
yeah.
It is what it is. It's just all wear and tear.
Yeah,
you want to have the fun, you got to do it.
Yeah, it's all R&D for us. Like I've got exhaust manifold absolute pressures there, so I'm monitoring what each chamber or each runner is doing in the manifold. So we're pretty much tuned to that. So at 30 pound of boost, we're only seeing 23 psi of exhaust pressure in our hot side. So that tells us that turbo sizing is big.
So that's EGTs, isn't it?
No, I've got EGT sensors down there. No, that's actually pressure. So that's exhaust gas absolute pressure.
What ECU is it running as well, and what sensors, where do you get them from for people?
So it's got the Link Extreme in it. I've had it in there for quite some time, and they're just a Honeywell sensor, a pressure sensor.
Now, just briefly, turbo specs as well.
So that's a Borg-Warner SXE 476 on there. So a 76mm compressor, and I've got the 1.32 exhaust housing on there at the moment. I've got a 1.15 housing, and I've knife edged all the divider plate in the inside. Just to see if I can get it on boost a little bit quicker. It's quite laggy, like we're not seeing full boost till about 5,800 RPM.
Okay.
And that's why we're revving it so hard to sort of have a 5,000 to 6,000 RPM power band. Ideally, I'd like it to come on boost a little bit sooner and bring the RPM limiter down so I don't have to rev it so hard. But with that, when you go small exhaust housing, obviously your exhaust pressures come up higher and then you can't run as much boost. So.
Now, are you going to put this in, what gearbox in it as well?
So it's got the trememdess TKO 600 box in it, which isn't liking any of the abuse at the moment. But I've got a Hollinger RD6 on order, which was meant to be delivered now.
Oh, nice. That's like the best of the best, boys, yeah?
Yeah, Hollinger. Yeah,
like in terms of sequential, is PPG or yeah? What are they worth now? Putting you on the spot. Just throw a number out there because
you don't get much change out of 32k.
That's not bad for a Hollinger. TTIs and HETs are around the 20s, yeah, 25 or something.
Yep.
But the Hollinger's like the fucking. Cream.
So I've done a lot of research. Like we've got an HGT in Nigel's car.
Oh no shit, that FD.
Yeah, and the FD.
Fuck, you got to take me for a drive in that.
And
I want the Hollinger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
So I've done a lot of research with the HGTs.
I've never been in an FD with the HG, direct clutches. Drew, he's going on his 20B. That's a full fucking like a race car.
Yep.
That's street driven with the Hollinger.
Yeah. No, that's a HGT in there.
Oh, it is a HGT.
Yep.
Oh, fuck.
HGT.
The Hollinger.
Yeah.
No one's got the Hollinger.
Nah, no.
Oh, no.
Early in the morning.
It's too expensive.
So yeah, so that's the setup. Unfortunately, I got out of the shed this morning and I split the oil cooler.
Ah, bugger.
So she dumped all its oil.
It's alright. What about these ones here? Water out of the water jacket.
Oh, yeah, that's just a bit of a. So with the injection setups that I've designed, I can sell this ECU, which is pre-terminated, coil brackets, injectors. It'll be a box pump, a surge tank. So literally what I'm targeting is people can take their IDA off, bolt my injection setup on. There's 4 wires that they have to hook up, bolt the surge tank in. They'll all have a Carter lift pump. So run the Carter lift pump into my surge tank, and you're literally all injected, and away you go.
Sick.
Yeah, there's some little tags that I've designed, 12A, 12A turbo, crank angle sensor covers. Interestingly enough, I whipped these up one night and punched them out on the CNC machine, and fuck, they took off. Everyone wanted them. I sent 3 or 4 of them over to Australia. And I couldn't keep up with the orders.
Oh, cool. They're relatively easy to make.
Yeah, the design works. Obviously, once I've done the CAD drawing, it's probably about 3 or 4 hours in doing the design and drawing. But now I've got it all. It's pretty much just lay the material on the CNC machine in the Australia and pack it with that. So.
Cool. Heaps of plugs, 115s.
Yeah, so I actually import the 6725 9s and 10s directly from Japan because I can't find anyone in New Zealand that supplies them. And just the BRs is what we run, and just have street applications. So that PP in there's got the race plugs, Mike's Corona, we run the race plugs, and I run the 11.5s and all the turbo stuff. My car and Michael's car.
So you're not putting 10s up top and 9s down low, and the street cars running plug gas?
I'll probably go 8s and 9s like in a street car, like these. But Mike's car and the PP, we've got 9s and 10s. and yeah, 11.5. So I find it's too cold for the NAs. They just, you don't create the heat like a booster did for the car, and they just foul them up. You actually lose a little bit of power by having too cold.
Another little lesson for both of us.
Yeah,
so this is a drive-by-wire setup. So I've designed these, and I've got a whole lot of them yet to release to the market because I still have to change the outlet here. But it's literally, you can buy this adapter, put it onto your FD intake manifold, and I'll supply a 90mm throttle body.
That's Bosch one,
Yep, Bosch. Yep. And O-rings bolt together, and then I've got one of my intercooler clamps that I'm going to machine to fit on here, and pretty much you can go drive-by-wire, and I'll make some brackets. Just a Bosch accelerator pedal, which is just based off an RX-8.
one, yeah.
Yep. And I'll just make brackets for RX2, RX3s, and away you go. So I'm going to put this in my car when my Hollinger turns up. A couple of things on that is on flip shift and rev cut, but the other thing is, because I've got a heavy foot, I seem to sit on the limiter doing power skids at all the events. I actually want to control the throttle body itself, so I can be hard up it, wheel spinning 4th gear, and not be sitting on the limiter. The ECU will actually start to close the throttle body off, and so it'll just hold it at 1 RPM, so it'll hold it at 10,000 RPM, but I'll still be creating 30 pound of boost, so I'll be just hard up at power skidding down the back straight without just banging on the limiter. So I can actually roll the throttle bodies closed. I don't actually have to back on and off the gas.
Which is the advantage of drive-by.
Yep. So I think drive-by-wire on the turbo cars is a new thing, or a big thing. To see it on the NAs.
The masterclass. I hope everyone's appreciating all this knowledge.
So these are our mufflers. I work with a guy. These are all done in-house. So I make some bits and pieces, and a guy that I work with down in Palmy, he does all the final finishing on and the polishing. He had Pro Muff back in the day, and then he closed the business down. He works for an engineering facility, and then I got yarning with him, and he's like, I don't want to make mufflers again, but I'll do them for you. So we work together, and so we've come up with a few.
Now you know I'm looking for fiberglass and what's inside it. Yeah?
Stainless packed. Stainless packed, and we've got a few things with the muffler. So this is one of our new prototype ones, which is hydroform, but then we press it into an oval. So it's to target, this is 4-inch, target the big, that people that want ground clearance.
Good idea.
So, and we do all our own resonators. I've got our resonators here, but they're all hydroformed as well. So we blow a piece of 3-inch stainless tube and form the outer, cut the ends off and pack them with the packing and put the kerf in. There's a bit of a secret inside a good muffler. A lot of them weld both ends, and with the heat and expansion they actually crack, and then all the packing flies to the end and they just blow out. We've done a bit of a different design inside to reduce that, so there's actually room for expansion to grow inside, especially on the rotary that just create 1,000 degrees exhaust temps. These are some little ones I've done under R&D. So these are a power bulb. These are actually based off a 4-stroke motorbike and 2-strokes, like an expansion chamber, work real well in NAs. So what they do is they stop the return pulsation. So exhaust gas will come through one way, and as it pulses back into the chamber, this will flip and stop going back into your exhaust housing. So you should gain a lot of power. They trialled them on motorbikes, motocross bikes.
I've seen drawings of this.
Considerable amounts of power. So, yet to probably trial this on the hatch when I get that all done. There'll be a few days of R&D. Again, mufflers. So this is my coilover setups that I do. I pretty much import a lot of these parts. I make all the templates, I make all the tubes. And then people send me their struts, I cut them off, I do the welds to a welding procedure, I get a crack test bid for a certification process. So I've got a set of RX7 or 6 here. These are the Greg Bracken's RX2, he wants to run it even lower than what he wants now. So
Sick.
So I'll be making them up, machining them. So these are my short
You should be visiting Greg.
So yeah, visit already, I'll get into them next week. So yeah, I do them, I do the Woolwood kits and everything. I've got all the stuff here, but they're out on the cars. These are my master cylinder designs that I can come up with.
That's what I need that in my life.
So pretty much, I machined an adapter plate which has a recess so the master cylinders fit in. Unboosted, no booster. And I'll spec the bore size to pretty much a 4-pipe Series 4 caliper, and they actually work really well on a stock caliper.
With no booster?
No booster. So I run no booster on my car, and I slow down from 250 k's to 50 k's at every event, lap after lap after lap.
Awesome.
Brakes never get hot.
And rear brakes on and off?
Yep.
Keep it simple.
Portioning valve, and that's to pretty much dial your pressures in, so keep your bias towards the front of the car, otherwise your rear starts to pull down and squat.
Can you switch the rear off with that?
You can't, because they only go to a 70-30 split, so that's 70%, so you still run a line locker if you want to deactivate
Those
it.
line lockers, we've seen it fail yesterday. I've seen it fail a number of times.
Yep, yeah, they do. There's a lot out there. Funnily enough, I just run a BM1 and have done for 10 years, never had an issue. But then I see some people putting them in and some failing. So I run the Woolwood ones, line lockers now, and quite a few customer cars. But yeah, pretty much, yeah, they buy this off me. This will be a direct bolt in, comes with a push rod and everything, for the standard clippers for a Mazda. They literally bolt that in, put some bolts through the firewall, fabricate their own brake lines, comes with all the fittings.
I know some shops that are going to be looking very closely.
And away they go. I was originally using the longer masters, which will be on these cars. These are my new compact ones, because I found the 3U3 hatches actually, this is really close to the struck down. So we've gone to the compact ones. So yeah, I've got this one, I've got 2 to send out. It's an RX2 and an R100 one.
And that's the end of our education. That's today lesson in how
That's pretty much it. I've got a bit of
Sick as.
equipment over there. I've got a CNC plasma.
Do you have any offsiders or anyone apprentices or anything?
So I've had a couple of just young guys that come in and help me out. Mikey owns the orange room, and he comes and helps me out when I'm really busy most of the time. So. Yeah, CNC plasmas are pretty much, I draw my profiles, all my 4 links, brackets, just anything, radiator, tanks, fucking, you know, everything, you name it. We just design everything, cut it all in-house. And then I've got a little machine shop in here, so all my diff shortening is done on the lathe. So we cut all the Hilux diff housings up, I spin them all on the lathe. I've got a machinist who's got a big mill down the road. I shoot down there and spline all the axles down there.
Oh wow.
It's a little CNC router or CNC mill. So this is what I do all my camber plates on. Just some prototypes of brackets.
You're overseeing the button like a CNC?
Pretty much now, yeah. So I've done all the drawings. So that's a caliper bracket which bolts onto you, and then your forwards go onto there. You've got to get all your offsets and everything right for the discs and everything that I run. And just some old camber plates and shit that I'll be mucking around playing with. So. But yeah, I try to do everything in-house. I don't really like to rely on other people, because I feel that you go to someone with an idea and they seem to steal it, and then everyone's doing it. So the more I can do in-house, the more I can get out there.
You come across the guy that doesn't like letting go of control.
Well, I think there's a lot of R&D to be done in the rotary industry, and I think there's big gains. So I'm just all for creating new shit and getting it out there.
Right, you completely fucked it.
The way I see it with the intake and the injection setups, like everyone uses EFI hardware out of Australia. That took me 12 months worth of R&D with a guy who's got a flow bench. So we pretty much designed it in CAD, put it on a flow bench. We changed injector positioning angles in 5 different orientations to get the maximum air speed through the throttle body and the best idle control on a rotary. So that's taken me 12 months to get the first one on the car, but now I've pretty much got it sorted, and yep, I've got inquiries, people wanting to buy them all over New Zealand, because obviously EFI hardware is the only ones that we can run. So again, I think there's heaps of people in the rotary.
I think in 5 years' time, or next time I come here, you've even got a skid pad at the front. We're probably going to send a couple of cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and bro, thank you so much.
Ah, sweet.
Sick as.
No, I mean, genius, mate.
Wow.
Genius. That's awesome, bro. Fuck. I mean, fucking think you wrote fucking wicked. That's fucking awesome. Woohoo! 300 out of PP all day. Fucking wicked.
Yeah, awesome. Fantastic.
That's impressive power, hey?
Fuck, it's awesome.
It's taken us,
Yeah.
we were fucking around at about 285 horsepower for a couple of days. And yeah, me and Mike just been into it. Velocity stacks, exhaust, fucking running our third exhaust setup. Yeah, it's been a battle, but
what's the record for a bridgie, you know?
so, yeah,
Oh, it's not a bridgie, it's a PP.
PP, yeah.
What's the record for that on pump?
Oh no, but 300 horsepower PP is fucking mean.
Yeah.
That's fucking.
So that's,
oh my ass.
300 horsepower PP is where it's at.
We've got,
Fun car to drive. Yeah, pump gas fucking ain't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can go to other stuff if you want, but.
yeah, that's cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop, bro. Stop.
Yeah, you gotta get something you get down the road, eh, when you go for a ride on the road.
Right. But now we've got another muffler that I want to try on the back because
Yep.
I actually measured. We're getting a little bit of pressure after the clip and before the muffler.
Yeah.
So I've got a new muffler I'm going to build probably next week, chuck it on it, and I reckon we've got about another 5 or 10 horsepower in it.
Oh, yeah.
And then once we've done that, I know the setup's working. Then we're going to rip the internals out and go high comp and see what that does back.
Bro, me.
Because I really didn't think the FD rotors would have made 300 horsepower. But yeah, it actually fucking works.
Done the job, eh?
So,
So what are you doing with RX8? What are you doing?
Well, it'll just be high compression, the lighter as well, so you run less timing with higher comp. So it should be a bit more of an efficient engine.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd have to see the data. Like,
Yeah.
To me, I don't think it's going to make a hell of a lot of difference. But yeah,
So yeah, if you find out.
how much timing? So we've got about 16 degrees through the mid-range, peak torque, and then we've got about 18.5 degrees up top. Which is really interesting with these with this PP and all PPs in general compared to the brick box.
it would be interesting to throw some E85 and then methanol through it.
Yeah.
Shoot some giggles or whatever.
Is
Is that the highest? Like, is it consistently seeing 300?
yeah, between 303, which is really interesting. This is torque, so you can probably hear it in the dyno run. It's really flat, and then at the
Move cross
it fucking picks right up and just screams. So this is torque curve. So as the PP comes in, it makes heaps of torque. That's with the throttle body's opening, there's massive rush of airspeed, and this is this hump here in power. So all Bridgeports do this, and then they fall down where the rotaries don't make torque, and that's where the Bridgeport power is just linear, or just flat line. Whereas this is really linear in torque, drops a little bit, which we see here, and then all of a sudden, right at about 9,500 RPM, it just packs up the torque and just this huge jump in power. And that's where we're cracking the 300, right at 10,000. 9,800, 10,000 RPM.
And that's what I was saying about changing the lengths.
Yep, so changing the length, what we've done is we've seen the torque actually came in here and was just flat and didn't do this jump, and we actually lost 10 horsepower through this whole range here. We still made the peak power, but it was just shit, and it would have shit skids because they had no torque, no grunt through the mid-range.
Who taught you all this stuff?
So Hayden Woodhead, so he works with me as well. He's actually based in Taupo. Unfortunately couldn't be here today. He's real knowledgeable. He's into his rotaries. This is his dyno setup, and I own the cell and everything. So we're in a partnership together. And he does all diagnostics. So together, me, Mike, and Hayden, we just bounce ideas around. Yeah, he's into it, into his technology, his electronics. I do the fab work. Mike's hard and rotary's been, and together it's just a fucking awesome team.
Do you have an engineering background at all?
Yeah, so I'm an engineer, fabricator, maintenance diagnostics engineer. Been in the rotaries for ages. And Hayden's the electrical, mechanical, electronics expert. Yep. And Mike's just, mechanical. Yeah, building fucking sick cars, doesn't make sense. And he's all for it, he's like the shit that he's learning recently just by being in this facility. We throw ideas around and we're all for it.
Good knowledge, man. It's awesome.
We spent a couple of days with Mike's car, that runs on 91 gas. And we put 95 in it, 98. We tuned on all different fuels. It made absolutely no difference, or I couldn't get any more power out of it.
Out of any gas?
91 gas. It's got shit loads of timing in it. I won't say how much, but it's got fucking heaps in it, and it's making heaps of power.
Here's a good one for you. Premix. Have you done any diagnostics with premix, making it richer, leaner, in terms of how much oil you
I have different theories, and so what the theories are is, I haven't measured it, but obviously the more premix, the lower the octane. But you can actually swing the other way and go more premix actually cools the apex seals, and you're not sucking so much octane out of the fuel because your apex seal's not absorbing the heat. So my car, I run 300 mils, even more, 20. On these pump gas, we're only 250 mils, especially on the PP, because what you have, your apex seal crosses the port, and you have cold fuel going directly onto the apex seal, and so if you've got a hot seal and then it's cold in the middle, they both. So if you run heat to pre-mix, it actually acts as a cooling additive as well.
Now, what premixes do you use on pump and the D85?
So Motrol 800 on pump. I sell all the Motrol oils. I'm still experimenting with different premixes, caster oils. I've run one oil that I like, I've got to go back to it. But I've tried the Castrol R40, R30s. It just gums up all the internals of the engine, and it's horrible shit. Motrol were making a real nice methanol-based premix for nitromethane RC cars, but they've taken it off the market now. I tried their cart oil, which is designed for 21,000 RPM applications and sort of alcohol-based fuels, but I found that it actually separates in the fuel within probably like 24 hours. So I'm going to go back to the other fuel that I used to use because I've pulled many of my engines apart and it's really clean. So.
Nice, bro. Masterclass, Billy.
Yeah, awesome.
You're just watching YouTube again.
No, well, I can't get away with it. Fuck, you guys are just blowing my mind. It's mean. It's mean to see it's here, eh?
Yeah,
it's happening.
So yeah, it's really cool just having a facility. We can build engines. I can do.
And here we have BLG Engineering. Charlie's just creeping in the trees. This fucking sick RX2 is going to do a mean fucking burnout. 300 horsepower peripheral port. see the van. Can you see the van? Oh, there it is. It's pretty hard to see behind the camo there in the trees.
Have we not got any? You chewed it all up on the dyno. Oh, that sounds so good. Yeah, we've got some 91. We've got 10 litres of 91 in the car.